Hi, welcome to the second podcast of Hunterizer. We welcome all of our subscribers. We really appreciate your input. And my name is Vlad. I'm the co-founder of Hunterizer.
And I'm David. Very nice to meet you.
We are both in Silicon Valley, California. I'm in San Jose, David is in Sunnyvale. So today we will cover a very important topic that many of our clients or many of our subscribers are interested in: how to start hunting in California. So this is how we will structure. I will be playing the role of a newbie. I will be asking questions, and David will be answering them. So with that, let's start.
Thanks, Vlad. This is a topic that many of the listeners are interested in. And some of my friends who started hunting were interested in, okay, how do I start hunting? And even if I got a license, what are the next steps? So these are the steps that we will cover in today's podcast. So yeah, go ahead, Vlad.
Yeah. So David, first of all, why should I start hunting? I mean, there are so many hobbies. You can scuba dive, skydive, I don't know, play chess, hike, camp. Why? What's so important? What's so cool about hunting?
Sure, I'll tell you just my experience. I've been hunting already, 7 years now. I started hunting in California, and then I've also gone out of state in Montana and Idaho to chase some big game, the antelopes, elk, mule deer. And for me, I mean, primary reason why I hunt is just the thrill of the hunt. I mean, there is something extraordinary that you feel, which is like somewhere deep inside your like ancient brain that gives you this kind of thrill when you go out hunting, when you shoot the bird or when you're chasing a deer. I guess, yeah, everyone feels differently about that, but this is like something deep inside people. And this is probably the primary reason why I go hunting. Besides that, I really enjoy spending time in the outdoors, whether it's spending time on a marsh, shooting for ducks, or taking a long hike in the woods, on a high altitude, in the mountains, in the forest, or just walking in the desert, chasing quail. I mean, it's just every minute spent in the nature, in the outdoors is a win, whether you come with a meat home or not. And then another thing is I like eating meat, and the wild game meat is one of the best you can get. It's a free-range, organic, best meat I've ever had. Probably was the antelope steak. So the antelope that I got in Montana, I mean, such an amazing stuff.
Yeah,
so
I agree. I ate it. I ate it too. I agree. For me, it's also a very high quality time spent with your family. My wife doesn't go hunting, but I go there with my two eldest boys, and I've been going with them for the last few years, and I think it's the best time we ever had together. So. All right, David, so with that in mind, what are the first steps? What should let's say I'm a total newbie and I would like to become a hunter in California. What do I do? What are the first steps?
Sure. The first step, I guess it's the same for every state in US. The first state, you got to get your hunting license. And to get the hunting license first, if you never had a hunting license before, you have to get the hunter education certificate. So how do you get that? In order to get that, in California, there are two ways getting the hunter education. The first one is the hunter education course, which is, it's a minimum, I think, 10-hour education where you go to the class, you learn certain things with an experienced instructor, then you pass the test, there may be some homework, and then also you spend some time in a field where your skills are being tested, and eventually you get certified as a hunter. And the second way is a hybrid way. So you start with doing an online course at home, you pass the course, and then you need to register to a hunter education where you attend the class with an instructor, but this is a much shorter instruction. And the outcome is the same. In the end, you get a hunter certification. And this is the very first step. When you get your hunter education, this means you are allowed to get the hunter license. And hunter education, you got to do it only once in your life. After you get it, you can get a hunting license in any state in US. So the next step is you upload your hunter education certificate to CDFW website. So CDFW is California Department of Fish and Wildlife. Its website is wildlife.ca.gov. And
we will put it in the description of the video, by the way. You don't have to.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you upload your hunter education certificate there into your account, and then you are allowed to purchase the hunting license, hunting tags, validations, and everything else that lets you hunt in California for the upcoming or the current hunting license year. License year in California usually runs from July 1st to June 30th of the next year. So if you purchase your license on July 1st, it's going to last for the whole year.
Yep. I just wanted to add, 1 second, David, I just wanted to comment on something you said. You said there are two ways to get the hunting license, the hybrid one and the offline or the physical one. And I just wanted to mention that a few years ago, I got my license during the COVID times. So I actually took a benefit of it and was able to get the online-only course. That does not exist anymore, at least in California. You still have to do some physical stuff.
Yep, that's right.
All right, next one, yeah. So let's say I get a hunting license. What species can I hunt? Can you tell a bit more what you can realistically hunt in California and legally hunt?
Yeah, so California is actually very abundant with wildlife. I mean, it's if you haven't hunted before and you think of California, hey, it's a very urbanized state. There are these big urban areas like LA, San Francisco Bay Area, and others. But in fact, there is very abundant wildlife in California. So probably the biggest thing that people go after in California is the deer. So there's very prevalent. I mean, you see deer everywhere, but hunting the deer is actually a little harder than just seeing one in a city park, of course. But and deer meat is amazing, I can say. So deer is the most popular big game. Another big game is a bear. So you can see the bear rug right there behind me. So that's the California black bear. So these are the two big game tags that are quite realistic to get, and they are realistic to hunt. There are other tags that are harder to get, like the elk, like a pronghorn antelope, the bighorn sheep. I mean, bighorn sheep probably, well, it's kind of once in a lifetime kind of tag. For other tags, for the elk or the antelope, it probably most likely going to take many years for you to gather the preference points before you get the tag. So this is the big game. I love also hunting the waterfowl, shooting the ducks. Yeah, it's a very different kind of hunt. So when you are hunting for deer, you got to spend a few days scouting in the forest, and then you got to hunt a few more days. And if you're lucky, you're going to get a chance to make a single shot. And then if you're also lucky, the deer will be down, and then your hunt, you are lucky by that time. So unlike that, when you're hunting ducks, I mean, you go out in a marsh or in a rice field or somewhere else. You take a box of your shotgun shells, and you most likely you're gonna shoot a dozen or a few dozen of. You're gonna make a few dozen shots. Most likely you're gonna get a duck or two, or if you're lucky, you're gonna get a limit. So it is a lot more action happening with the duck hunting and with other small game or waterfowl hunt. So
I wanted to comment on the. Oh, sorry. I wanted to comment on the ducks part. So as I mentioned, we are from Silicon Valley, and the fun part is you can. Not many people know about it, but you can hunt right in the center of the Silicon Valley, right at the bay, and it's fun because you go there in the morning, you see ducks, you hunt ducks, you shoot them, but you can also see like Googleplex, you can see other Silicon Valley buildings. Yeah, it's an interesting experience.
Yeah, this is really fun because you wake up in the morning, you go out, have a hunt, and then sometimes I go hunt, and by 10 a.m. I'm already back home. I brought a few ducks, and then I go to work. This happened before, or otherwise you just spend longer time there hunting, and then by the middle of the day you're back home.
And David, you mentioned lots of species that that are huntable in California. And I just wanted to mention that we in Hunterizer, we have just released a new app for both iPhone and for Android. It's called Hunterizer Seasons, and we'll put the link right down there in the description. And it's actually helping hunters to see what's huntable today. So there's an option, Hunt Today, you press it, and then you see all of the species which are open today, and then it gives you information which zones, what are the rules. It's extremely useful. We are using that in the field all the time, and you can't imagine how many times we show that to experienced hunters who thought they knew everything, and they could not give us a comprehensive list of what's huntable today. So that was news to them as well.
Yeah, I believe in California there are 49 huntable species. Some of them it's hard to get their tags for, or they're hard to see, but many of them actually are not. You see them many times. I mean, raccoon or skunk or weasel, coyote. Some people
They're not
go.
game. They're not game, right? And
Yeah,
you cannot eat them, of course.
that's right. So it's they're listed in the non-game section, but so people hunt them not for the food purpose, but for the conservation purpose, because they're predators. They are overrepresented at this point in time in California, and they are eating the eggs
folks,
of the wild game or other.
Folks, do you wanna hunt some turkeys? In this case, please consider hunting raccoons and raccoons, because they are the worst enemy of the turkey. They eat like 40 or 50 eggs, I believe, in the season. Please consider helping. Please consider helping in this regard.
And so continuing on the different species you can hunt. So we talked about big game and waterfowl. There are upland game birds that are also abundant in California. So I can tell you there are 3 types of quail. There are 2 types of grouse. There are 4 types of doves. There is a bent-tailed pigeon. There are ptarmigan. There are so many different birds. It's just amazing. I've seen some of them. I've hunted many of them. Some of them I'm still looking forward to hunt. But we people living in California, I think we don't appreciate enough how much of good stuff and for hunting related we have here.
Indeed. So let's say I've got my hunting certificate. I've got my hunting license. I've got the necessary tags. I need to buy some arms, correct? So what do I do? Do I go to the gun store, or do I go to the Walmart? Where do I go? What do I buy? Can we touch this topic?
Yeah, so you have to decide which species you're going to hunt. So if you ended up choosing hunting the waterfowl or small game like rabbits or squirrel or upland game birds, most likely you're going to need a shotgun. So the shotguns, there are different shotguns. You can research them. There are pump action ones. There are semi-auto, many different ones, 12 gauge, 20 gauge.
But side by side and over and under. Don't forget the 2 barrels.
That's right. Get a shotgun. This will give you probably a good start and a lot of species you can hunt. On the other hand, if you decide to go after some big game like deer or bear, you're going to need a rifle. You're going to need some scope. So get that one. You got to select the right caliber for your rifle. I mean, there are so many discussions. You can read about different calibers and different rifle models. And the third one, I guess, if you're going to end up shooting some small game, you would need a rifle with a small caliber, like 22 long rifle, for example, if you're going to go after squirrel or rabbits. By the way, you can go after those with a shotgun, but if you want to preserve the meat, you better go with the 22 long rifle.
And let's also cover a few more exotic weapons, like crossbow, like bow and arrows, and muzzleloader. I think maybe a couple of words on those as well.
Yeah, that's right. So it's these are kind of the basic weapons that a lot of people start with, but some people have a preference with a bow and arrow. And this is another a great way to hunt the big game or any other game. Uh, yeah, it's a lot quieter. The season is different for when you are hunting with a bow. It's usually earlier, so you get certain advantage, or the season is longer. On the other hand, there is also muzzleloader. Again, it is, I think there's a special muzzleloader season in California only for deer. And
Correct.
it also provides you some extra seasons you can choose from where you don't have people with other kind of weapons there. Well, besides that, there is air rifle. Some people prefer hunting with that. Some people prefer falconry. I mean, this is a way more rare kind of way to hunt. But I guess for most
Yeah.
people, starting with with the firearms, with the rifle and the shotgun, is probably the most basic way to start.
Okay, and I just wanted to mention again, pointing at our Hunterizer Seasons app, it has information about permitted weapon for each species. So again, that's going to be extremely useful. And you can, for example, filter if you're not interested in archery, you can go to settings and just filter them out, and those seasons will not even show in your app. Alternatively, if you are interested, you can go to settings and check them in, and you will see them. So that's pretty cool. All right. So let's say I bought the firearms. What's important to tell that you do not buy and go immediately to the field. You need to go to the range. You need to learn how to shoot, how to handle it properly. Well, you actually have to show how to handle it properly right in the store. Otherwise, they would not even sell it cut to you. But still, this is not enough. You need to go to the field. You need to test. To the range. You need to learn how to load, how to shoot, how to unload, etc., how to aim. And I would recommend to find a good trap or skid field and taking your shotgun there. And that's extremely valuable experience that will help you during the hunt.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, safe and good handling of firearm is very important here. And partially this is included in the hunter education course, but yeah, nothing beats the practice.
Correct. Okay, so I have the gun. I presumably have a car so I can drive, or a truck. 4x4 is usually always better. Where do I go? When do I go? How do I go? I think lots of new hunters faced like they finish education, they buy everything, and then they do not know how to start, how to actually start hunting.
Sure. Yeah. First, let's start with the when to hunt. Uh, so you have to learn the hunting regulations, which include the timing or the open seasons for when you are allowed to go and shoot the game that you choose. And so I would say that throughout the year, in almost any time of the year, there are at least some of the seasons open, but most of the seasons are opening in the fall. So, for example, if you are going after deer or bear, or yeah, they are usually opening by the end of the summer and beginning of the fall, and then go until the middle of the fall. The duck seasons, they are opening in the middle of the fall and go until the middle of the winter. But let's say turkey season is the one that is in the spring. The rabbit season opens in the middle of the summer on July 1st. And there are some species you can hunt year-round, like jackrabbits, like the wild pigs, or some nongame like coyote, skunk, or weasel. Uh, yeah, so first of all, you got to learn the regulations and the seasons. You can read about the regulation on CDFW website. As I said, the website's wildlife.ca.gov. And there are three main publications that you need to read, which are first is a big game digest that talks about hunting big game, the deer, bear, pronghorn antelope, bighorn sheep, and elk. The second one is the waterfowl digest. Obviously talks about waterfowl, ducks, and geese, and coots, and all kinds of other Well, I believe it also includes the upland game birds, such as turkey, pheasant, quail, etc. And the third one is the mammals. Oh, I think they are included in the same publication. So yeah, you got to read those three, and they are quite big publications. It's worth reading them all. But another thing that we've done is made it a little easier for you guys. We created the California Hunting Atlas. Actually, I have it here with me. So this is what it looks like. It's a comprehensive guide to hunting in California. It has all the seasons listed for you. It has the summary regulations, lets you know what's the possession limit or bag limit. Yeah, it is much shorter, easier to read, especially if you are a beginner. Only, how many pages? I believe 48 pages. Yeah, besides what we mentioned, it also includes some kill spot maps that tells you the location of where other hunters were successful when it comes down to big game. So yeah, it is very useful, especially for the beginner hunters.
And it also has all species maps. Some of those maps are nowhere else to be found, such as raccoon zones map and night hunting map. Yeah, so this atlas has some unique maps as well. Also, all of this information, except for the maps, but the season information, you can, as I mentioned before, find it in our Hunterizer Seasons app. So.
Yeah. Okay. So if we're gonna continue, you gotta select what species you're gonna hunt. You need to select. You need to find the when the season is open for those species, and sometimes the season dates depend on the zone that you are in. So, for example, in case of quail, the all California is split into 3 quail zones, and each of them has its different quail seasons. Or, for example, if you're hunting deer, there are how many deer zones are there? I guess 30, 40, something like that.
Several tens at least, yeah, several tens.
Yeah. Each of them has different season. Let's say in the A zone, which includes the part of the Central Valley and the West Coast, that includes the season. The archery season starts around mid-July, but then the archery for other zones starts somewhere in August. So yeah, definitely look up the zone that you plan to hunt. And for the big game, you also need to get a tag for the zone that you plan to hunt. You cannot hunt the zone for which you don't have a tag when it comes to the big game. And as I said, some of the tags for the big game is pretty hard to get, like elk, like pronghorn antelope, like the bighorn sheep. The bear tag is over the counter. You can get it. You can hunt in any zone as long as you're hunting in season. And then the deer zones, many of the deer tags are easy to get. They're over the counter, or the lottery is kind of guaranteed to give you those. And other zones, especially when it comes to X zones, so those are in the East Sierra. There are some of the premium zones. They are much harder to get. So you got to be participating in a lottery, and you need probably collect preference points over a few years.
So far, both me and David were pretty much unlucky in terms of winning good zones. Although actually, I won a muzzleloading special zone this year. And what's cool about that specific zone is that usually in most of the zones you have to aim, you have to find the male deer. But in this specific zone, you are bound to use a muzzleloader rifle, which has a very limited range, and you have to use the iron sights. However, you can shoot either sex, so that's a plus.
Yep.
Okay, so we have covered the topic when to hunt. How about where? Where should a person go in order to find the game of his lifetime?
Okay, this is a really good question because a lot of people are struggling. Okay, I know the seasons, I've read the regulations, I got my weapons, where do I go? Well, some people, they are landowners, they have their land and they can hunt there. Other people may have friends who are landowners. I guess they're lucky too. But many of us, we're not landowners and we don't know anyone who will let us hunt on their land. So we got to use the
Don't trespass. Please don't trespass without
Yeah,
permission. You can get shot.
Okay, so I'm gonna continue with my laptop.
Yeah. So,
Well,
no trespassing. Yeah, no trespassing, of course.
yeah, where do we go hunting? And then again, in California, we are actually very lucky. We have plenty of public land that is open for hunting, which mostly includes national forest lands and the Bureau of Land Management lands. So I think
We
I'll show
will
you.
put the map. Sorry, you will probably see the map of the hunting lands, public hunting lands in California, right as we speak. So we will try to put it on the screen for you
Yeah, I
guys.
think I've looked it up. In California, I think 35% of the land area constitute BLM or national forest lands, which is amazing. They have very loose restrictions on hunting. You can hunt pretty much anything on those lands. You don't need any special permission for most of the lands. So at least 35% at minimum is open for hunting. And besides BLM and national forest lands, there is U.S. Department of Fish and Wildlife lands. So there are California wildlife areas and ecological reserves that are open for hunting. So those are lands that have more regulations, and you should look up regulations for specific area that you are going to before you're going to hunt there. So just before the season is open in the zone where this land is located, doesn't mean you are allowed to hunt any species in that land. So always look up the regulations for specific areas that you go.
Yeah. And I'd like to mention that there are several federal and state agencies that have areas where hunting is permitted, but they also have areas where hunting is not permitted. So you need to actually do research. If you use the tool like Onyx, it will show you that the area belongs to that agency. But based on that, you cannot make an assumption that you can actually hunt. You need to do further research. We try to simplify things for hunters. So if you purchase our hunting atlas, it will actually show you the division of public lands into huntable and non-huntable. And we also have the beta version of our Maps app. It's only web. It doesn't. We are still to create a smartphone app. But if you go to map.hunterizer.com, and we'll put it in the description, you can actually load the map for California. It will show you red areas as non-huntable and other colors as huntable. And then you can press on the map and it'll give you the hunting interpretation, whether the area is huntable, what agency belongs to, and what species are huntable on that area today or any other given day, and whether there are any area-specific restrictions. And we can give you an example of area-specific restrictions. For example, we go duck hunting into the Don Edwards. This is right in the middle of the Bay Area, as we spoke. And you can only hunt waterfowl there, even though there are other seasons open at the moment, but you can only hunt waterfowl birds there. So there are places like that. You need to read the regulations.
Yep. And also, I will add that our California Hunting Atlas has all of those lands shown on a map. So here we not only show which agency belongs this land or that land, but also we show if you are allowed to hunt there or not. So, for example, most of you know that you're not allowed to hunt in most of the National Park Service lands, which includes places like Yosemite National Park or Redwoods National Park. But there are some lands that belong to National Park Service that are not national parks. For example, Mojave, what is it called? Mojave Preserve?
Remember?
Yeah, Mojave National Preserve, that's right. Where you are allowed to hunt. So you see, this is this big area right here. So look it up in the California Hunting Atlas, and you will get a better idea which lands you are allowed to hunt and which lands you cannot.
But important disclaimer, we are not given legal advice. So you need to read government documents. They have the final decision, the final response. All right. So let's say you went to the field and you got your deer or your turkey. What do you do with it? or maybe even before you see the deer or you see the turkey, how do you make a decision whether you're allowed or not to take the shot?
Sure. First of all, you should be able to identify the species that you hunt. And sometimes not just to identify the species, but also to identify what sex it is. So, for example, most of the deer tags in California are for bucks. And so you cannot shoot the does with that tag. And also you cannot shoot any kind of buck. In most cases, you need to shoot the buck that has at least one fork in the upper 2/3 of the antler. So you need to know that. You need to make sure this is a legal buck before you try to shoot that. The same goes, for example, for turkey. The spring turkey season is open only for the male turkeys. So you also need to make sure this is a male turkey, Jake or Tom, and not a hen. Because, well, hens in the spring, they are laying eggs. So there is a good argument from conservation standpoint that you should not be shooting the hens, and also it's illegal. So you should be able to ID your birds. You should be able to ID. You should be able to tell the sexing of the bird if it is important for the species that you hunt. And when you're confident to make a shot, okay, you made the shot, you got that carcass laying on the ground. What's next? The best thing again is to be prepared. Hey, if I have a duck, what do I do? Am I gonna skin the duck or breast the duck, or am I gonna pluck the feathers and take the whole duck? You gotta be ready. You better watch some videos before that, or so probably the most important thing to do first is to gut the bird, or if you are dealing with a deer, you got to gut the deer, because if you don't gut them, they're going to spoil very soon. Then you got to decide what you're going to keep. Most cases when you got it, you got to decide if you're going to keep the liver and gizzard in case of a bird, or a heart. So better make that decision beforehand. What are you going to keep? And then if it's a big game, let's say if it's a bear, again, you better be ready. Hey, how do I process the bear so that I get make sure I get a rug like that? Hey, there are special cuts you gotta make. You better know that beforehand, because when you're there in the field, most likely you don't have connection. So the preparation is very good here.
And again, our hunting atlas. Oh, sorry, David. Again, our hunting atlas has a wonderful.
Our hunting atlas has the guide how to field dress the big game when it comes to bear, where you need to make the cuts for a rock, or where do you make the cuts for the deer if you wanna get a mount after that, and also what to do in order to maximize the amount of meat that you get from that, and so that you are quick, so the meat doesn't spoil, and you take the carcass back home. After that, you can process it yourself. So I personally like to process the carcass at home, or someone may take it to the game processor, and they're gonna make this nice cuts and package it for you, so that you just take it and put it in your freezer. But handling the game in a field is very important in order to maximize the amount of meat and the quality of the meat.
Yep, totally agree. Okay, with that said, I think we are nearing the end of the video. You probably have lots of questions. Please feel free to add them in the comments, or shoot directly to us. We'll add our contacts in the description of this video. And we would like to wish you happy, successful, and safe hunting season.
Absolutely, yeah. Preparation is very important. There are so many things, especially if you are a beginner, so many things to learn, so many things to know. Please feel free to ask us any questions you have. We're glad to answer. If there are extensive questions, we would probably be able to make special videos on that, or write an article on that. So yeah, please let us know what you think. And I wish you a happy, successful, and enjoyable hunt.
Hope to see you in the field. Goodbye.